There's no doubt that good things come in small packages, sometimes. There's also no doubt that Fosi Audio know a thing or two about making excellent quality budget audio equipment, almost all the time. Their Q6 DAC aims to reprove both of those statements. Fosi Audio sent it to me for review, but they have no influence over this video. For $100, the Q6 DAC has exactly the same footprint as one of their V3 mono amps. It's also remarkably simple, and that's what I like about it. You only get 3 inputs to choose from. And I don't mean that to suggest that you should have more inputs to choose from, or that that's an issue in any way. I mean that that's the only choice you make with the Q6 DAC, which input you listen to. Beyond that, you just switch on the Q6 DAC, and it works. It'll output RCA to the rest of your system, and I don't mean just left and right stereo. There's also an extra mono RCA output for your subwoofer. Although I'm not sure how you're meant to control the volume on your subwoofer and your speakers at the same time, because there's no volume control on the Q6. This dial on the front's your input selector. That seems like maybe an oversight in terms of the subwoofer output, and it probably makes the subwoofer output redundant because you can't control the volume. In other words, you'll probably need to use a preamp to control the volume of your speakers and your subwoofer together. And then speaking of preamps or integrated amps with volume controls for subs and the like, I've got more of those sorts of devices from Fosi Audio coming in the next couple of days, so make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out. As for the Q6, I'm happy to forgive the probably redundant subwoofer output inclusion because everything else about the Q6 is so great. Its simplicity, its price, its size, and what's going on inside the DAC. You're getting the AK4493S DAC chip, which is a fantastic DAC chip, and the Q6 will handle any type of audiophile all the way up to DSD512 or PCM 768 kHz. What's more, when you give it a listen, the Q6 sounds fantastic. It is important to be realistic and recognise that this is a very, very affordable DAC. As such, it's not some sort of giant killing superstar. What it is though, is a really nice sounding, compact, affordable DAC. The tonality is spot on, and the sense of clarity and separation is really good. It's very similar in performance to the slightly more expensive Fosi Audio GR40 DAC. The GR40 is a little bit more spacious sounding thanks to its tube preamp stage, but I don't think it's any more resolving than the Q6. The GR40 also has an inbuilt volume control, which could be helpful or not so helpful. If you're pairing the DAC with some kind of preamp or integrated amp with its own volume control, you really don't need or want an extra volume control in that signal chain. That's where something like the Q6 could easily be better. And so you could choose either the GR40 or the Q6 to get a very affordable DAC and excellent sound. But if you do want to spend more, you can get even better sound. For example, the $220 Apos Extra Shelly Labs Merlin DAC does produce more resolution or detail in the sound. It also throws a larger soundstage with better image or instrument separation, and it's got a proper balanced design with XLR outputs if that matters. Having said that, the Merlin also costs twice as much or a little bit more than twice as much, and it has less inputs to choose from, so it depends a lot on your needs. As it stands, if budget performance is what you're looking for, the Q6 is probably the one. If maximum sound quality is the goal and you've got a little bit more money to spend, then maybe the Merlin's a better choice. And on that note of talking about producing a high performance system on a very tight budget, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I've got a video coming in just a few days with my ideal budget audio setup. So you're not going to want to miss that one. Hit subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss out. In the meantime, if the Q6 sounds like your perfect DAC, I've put links in the description down below for you. Or in the meantime, if the idea of a better sounding DAC with XLR outputs for just a bit more money sounds good to you, I've pinned a video here at the end telling you all about that one. For now though, a huge thanks to YouTube channel members, also to channel Patreon members, and of course to those of you who leave super thanks on videos like this one. And until next time, happy listening, be kind to each other, and I'll see you here again soon on Passion for Sound.